Joining us today, the former unbeaten British and Commonwealth super middleweight champion, Lerrone Richards, who's up sticks from London, left the comforts of his family and moved up to Sheffield, his new phase of his career. Well, first of all, Lerrone, when can we see you back in action?
Well, we're looking within the next 2-3 weeks, really, to start, getting back in the ring. And because obviously now, I've got a new coach. And, we just want to jump in the ring and, work on a few stuff that we've been working working the last, 6 months, yeah.
Yeah. How did... So I presume you're going to either jump on the Billy Joe bill or the Joshua bill now you're with Matchroom, whichever one they can fit you on, I guess.
That's the plan, yeah. I would like to be on the Billy Joe Saunders one because I think it makes more sense. Like, I was looking, there's quite a few super middleweight fights on there. So it'd be good if I could be added to that one, which we're training towards anyway. But, whatever day it is, we'll be ready.
So how did the Matchroom deal come about? Because you've been with Frank Warren for most of your career. How did it come about?
Well, last week, Wednesday, my contract ended with Frank Warren. And my management team, S-Jam, let Eddie Hearn know that I was available. And the deal was done within like a day. It was very quick. Eddie Hearn was very, very excited and interested. And we got the deal done. And then on the Friday, on a Thursday, the press conference.
Yeah, I know. I saw the publicity. I saw you was in the bubble and you were doing interview every time I went on Twitter. I saw an interview with you by someone. I'm the only person who never spoke to you last Thursday.
Yeah, it was crazy. Everything happened so quick, but it was nice. I was really excited.
Yeah, I mean, was it disappointing having to you give up? I don't know why your British and Commonwealth titles are gone now. I know you have to fight Willie Hutchinson for the British, and obviously you wouldn't be ready for the 5th of December, and that would obviously lead to complications, I guess. But your Commonwealth's gone as well.
Well, Steve, the fight of me and Willie Hutchinson wasn't really like agreed. I didn't have no email in terms of like, purses or anything like that. Obviously, the initial plan for me and Dave Caldwell was to fight for the WBC silver.
Yeah, I know that.
Because that's what was offered to us. But obviously, I won the British, the Commonwealth now. I've defended it. Defended the Commonwealth against Lennox Clark. The plan for me was to sort of move on to European level. But when Willie got when Willie got made mandatory, I was just like, oh, okay, like, no problem. Willie's a good fighter. No problem. But because I was in training for the WBC silver, that's what my goal was at the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was an arrangement made. Me and Frank Warren decided to to part ways, and obviously I've vacated my titles, and then I just signed with Matchroom.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot said about you why you're not fighting Willie Hutchinson. You're quite happy to fight him. Everything was right terms and notice and all that, I guess.
Well, I didn't get there was no. Yeah. What I'm saying is that there wasn't any nothing. There was no term. There was no contract sent to me about me fighting Willie Hutchinson's. I was training for the WBC silver. Obviously, Willie Hutchinson's got made mandatory for the title. I had no problem with fighting Willie Hutchinson's, but I want to move forward in my career. Yeah. I want to push on. You see, Willie Hutchinson's, he wants to push up with his career, which he's entitled to do. Everyone wants to make the step forward. Lerrone Richards is entitled to do that. To do that too. Same as when I was meant to fight Umar Sadiq, that was scheduled. Umar Sadiq decided to box Fedor Chuminov, which is a step above Lerrone Richards in terms of rankings. So he's entitled to do that. So I just felt like I wanted to step up now, and move on with my career. So that's why I decided to make the decision to vacate the titles.
Yeah, I mean, it's you won't want reminding, and I'm sure you'll speak about it. But it's 3 fights in 3 years. You've got to. I know you're only 28. You're a young man. You have got to be more active now if you want to. You're talking like the domestic stage of your career is gone for now. you're looking at European then world. So you've got to be busier, haven't you, to get these sort of fights?
Absolutely, and when I start getting more active and I'm more busier, you'll start seeing the better performances from me. You know, I just felt like that's what I felt like my career's been lacking is activity, and now I'm with Matchroom, I'll be getting that.
Yeah, it was interesting. Last night I was doing a piece of a journeyman boxer last night, Poochie Van Putsch, who you beat. Now,
Yeah.
it might not be a fight you remember forever, but I think when these guys pay a compliment, I asked him who the best person he'd ever fought, and he's had 134 fights, and it was you.
Well, yeah. It's unbelievable. Yeah, but it's nice for him to say that. It's nice for him to say that. Yeah, really nice. Yeah.
He said you and there was someone else was second, but he said it was you. He said he just couldn't live with you. And when you got him out of the way in the third round, he said it was like, I think it was the third round. He said it was like a relief to go home that night. You know.
Wow. I must be doing something right, Steve.
That's right. Yeah. So tell us about how it's gone with Dave Caldwell. You've been there for 6 months now. You've given up a lot. You've just had a new, your first child. That's a lot to give up when a baby's been born. When you'd love to be bonding, I'm sure, more than sitting in I don't know, whether you're in a hotel or a flat in Sheffield. I'm
in a shared housing with 3 random people I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously now I'm with Dave Caldwell. My missus is in Belfast at the moment because she's Irish. Right. We met in London, obviously, but she's in Belfast because she was 38 weeks pregnant, and we decided, because I was in Belfast, because I was in Rotherham, and I wasn't coming home because I was busy training. I didn't know when I was fighting. I was in camp, had to focus on the boxing, and we decided that she would go back to Belfast, with her mum and spend some time there until little man was ready to come. And when he was ready to come, I flew over to Belfast. I saw my little boy being born, and I spent a week there, and the plan was, after he was born, the plan was for me to come back, fight, and then find a place around here for us to sort of live and for her to move back over. But nothing happened. Like, it didn't happen that way. I was, waiting for fight dates, and dates were just getting pulled on me. But I just stayed in the gym. I still stayed away, even though I wanted to go back and see my boy and stuff. I stayed away. I just had to keep grinding, training. So yeah, it's been quite difficult, mate, because my little boy's 4 months now. I probably missed three and a half months of his life,
And that's just wow, and that's
so just because I'm training, because I'm training I was training for a fight that I didn't even know the date of, but now I'm with Matchroom. I'll have the fight dates. I'll be able to work around things. After I boxed, I'll be able to get my family back with me, and I could start moving forward.
Yes, a lot of sacrifice. You're just living in one room, are you? And you lock the room and you share a kitchen with 4 people.
Yeah, literally I would show you. It's a mess though.
Show me.
I'll show you. Let me show you. Yeah.
People need to big sacrifices you make. You spoke about what you've given up with your family at the moment.
Oh, look, this is my room.
Wow.
Hanging up there, the washing hanging up. There's the boxes, of me and my training stuff. There's my washing. Yeah, bottles of water. My PlayStation controller. My plate. Yeah, that's how I'm living, mate. I'm just, that's how I'm living. For now, until get myself my fight and get myself a place, and then my family can come over.
Brilliant. Well, I hope they do for you. But tell us about Dave Caldwell, training with him. He had a lot. He seems to all the time have small stables but good fighters.
Yeah, like with Dave Caldwell, I'm learning so much. His plan is obviously to take me to the next level, and we have the same vision. Like I said before, to a lot of people, like there's a lot of coaches out there, but there's very few teachers. And Dave Caldwell teaches me. He's taking me back to the basics. If he tells me to do this, he would explain why.
Got you now.
Yeah, if he told me to do something, he would explain why and the reasons why if I don't do it, what's going to happen. So I'm really enjoying the journey, and I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Yeah, and I see you got your gaming stuff there. What boxers are you bashing at gaming? Because whenever I've mentioned you to boxers, they all say they're going to get hold of you and beat you like Zelfa Barrett and these guys.
Yes. Do you know what? I play UFC still, but I avoid Zelfa Barrett. I avoid him like the plague, mate. The FIFA I play, and I play Fortnite as well.
Right.
Fortnite.
So apart from Zelfa, you're the king of the boxers at gaming.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. In fact, you know who's really good at gaming? Joyce.
Yeah, I know he sits up. You know what? I know he spends a lot of the time at night sitting up playing all the games.
Yeah, he's really good, Joyce. Oh, mate. So he's the king of the gaming. I'll give him that.
And
I'm the prince. I'm the prince. No, not Zelfa. I'm the prince.
Zelfa won't be happy with you, mate. When you appear on a Matchroom show, he might stick on about 4 stone and want to fight you.
Yeah, I love gaming. It's like, what else is there for me to do? Obviously, I do read books and stuff, and I'm actually looking into this book. I'll show you. A law book.
The law.
Yeah, so like I'm reading into stuff like that because, like, I was inspired by Adam Morley.
Yeah,
my lawyer, yeah, I just think he's a good man, and he's got a really good job, and he's very good at it.
Well,
and I was like, yeah, I want to get into it. Like, so I've been reading into it, and when this is all settled down with this lockdown and this pandemic thing, I'm gonna probably do a beginning course in it. So,
wow, try and be a lawyer eventually, become a lawyer.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah,
that's brilliant.
Yeah, so that's sort of future plans, but I really do enjoy it.
That's fantastic. That is wow. No, so that'd be brilliant. Yeah. Uni and hey, look, you make money. Yeah, look, it's fantastic. You want to do that, and someone's inspiring you to do that. And I'm sure Adam, with his contacts, if you go to uni or whatever, or if you do an open uni course, I'm sure Adam will have to places he can get you in for placements.
That's it. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Yeah, he's actually mentioned that to me before. But yeah, it seems like it's taking you by surprise, Steve.
No, you know what? I think it surprised me because I knew you was this is what I'm talking. You're trying to find a bit more out about you. I didn't know. I just knew you was in Sheffield. I didn't know what your partner and baby were there. So it's good to find out these things. I didn't know you had any plans to be a lawyer. I think it's fantastic. You found someone to inspire you to do it, to mentor you as such, to be your mentor for it.
That's it, yeah. So, that's the plan anyway.
So, if you go on and fight for the world title in the next 12 months, you look at the current champions, Callum, Billy Joe, both in the Matchroom stable, Caleb Plant, which I guess would be the harder one to make, because I think he's without Demon. If you had to pick one of them, who you would fancy your chances against, say, next summer, who would you pick? Where obviously you're confident of beating any man, but who would you pick out of them three where you would say, I will win?
I want to be realistic, Steve. Like, for me now, I want to win the European title, and once I've won that European title, I know I've made the right step in the right direction. British, Commonwealth, European. And then whoever's got the belts, not mention any names, whoever's got the belts then, I will know 100% I'm ready for them. Like, what I need now in my career is activity, and I need a little bit more experience under those lights, and then I'll be ready for any of the champions.
That's brilliant. I can't thank you enough for speaking to me tonight. Really, really good of you. It was nice to see, the sacrifices it isn't nice for you maybe being in one room, but I think it's nice for people to see the sacrifices and see another side of you, what you're reading and where you're living. Fantastic.
Yeah. Do you know, no one really asks. So because no one asks, I just don't show them, because I'm not really one to be like, oh, look, I'm doing this, I'm going through this, because I just get on with it, Steve. Because at the end of the day, I don't want no one feels sorry for me. It's my job.
That's
And you know,
sorry for you, but it's showing what you're going through. The sacrifice.
yeah, absolutely,
It's not a sympathy
absolutely,
thing.
yeah. So it's not easy, but you know, anything. Obviously, nothing. They say something about anything that's worth having. It's never easy.
Yeah.
So
Well,
so I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and I'll get where I want to be surely.
of course, there will be people who see your record, they see you boxed on TV, they've seen you're a British and Commonwealth champion, and casual fans, they're still boxing,
Yeah.
and they all assume you're most probably living in a 5-star hotel in Sheffield, have your own chef and all that. They don't see you sitting there wrapped up with a telly gaming and a book on law that you're studying.
Yeah, it's funny because when I moved into this place, there was one of the guys that lived next door, and he was like, asking me questions and things like that. He's like, what do you do? I said I was a boxer. He said, hey, he said, why are you here? He said, why are you here in this hole? Like as he said. I said, I just want, listen, a head or place to sleep. I'm good. I'm not like a prima donna. As long as I've got a nice place got a lovely mattress, and I'm good. Like I'm not fussy.
Lerrone, it's been brilliant chatting to you, and let's try and catch up in the new year and get you on the channel again.
No worries, mate. It's a pleasure, yeah?
Thank you very much.
Cheers, bro.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.